Welcome to today's class. I'll be your host, Ty Phillips. Today we're going to take a look at transforming learning using new technology, becoming a 21st century teacher. Today's main goal is going to be to identify strategies for becoming a 21st century technology using teacher. Please take a moment to look over the nets we'll be covered during today's lessons. Keep in mind that our main nets will be focusing on engaging professional growth and leadership, as well as net number 6, technology operations and concepts. Technology has changed a lot in regards to education over the last 20 years. We kind of want to break it down between an old school versus new school look. Old school educational technologies include things like pen and paper, textbooks, home phones, hard encyclopedias, meeting with teachers after school, and getting together with friends at lunchtime. The new school version of educational technology is focused more on computers, with laptops and tablets, smartphones, social media, tons of applications that are out there for all these devices, as well as the Web 2.0 tools, which will really enhance the education abilities for students as well as teachers.
21st century skills. Well, if you're like me, you can't go a week without hearing someone, somewhere, bring up the buzzwords 21st century skills. But really, what are they? Well, simply 21st century skills are things like critical thinking abilities, solving problems, creative thinking, communication and collaboration with others, finding ways to use information in innovative ways, and teaching students to take responsibility for their own personal actions within their civic lives. Today's teachers, we just can't teach the basics. We got to help shape the citizen as well as the student. So I think we're all pretty confident in understanding that computers can be necessary in teaching these 21st century skills. I mean, I can pick out a computer in a lineup, but really we need to take a deeper look at what computers really are. And simply computers are a way for their information processing machinery that works on like a fetch and execute cycle, being able to grab technology faster than what we would be able to look up in like a physical book. Now, these computers actually allow us to use these Web 2.0 tools. And these Web 2.0 tools are amazing. They're highly interactive technologies that helps us learn to transform things through like wikis and blogs and social networking, allowing us to use social bookmarking and digital media to create and share the technology that we've discovered. So what are the must-have technologies? Shoot. If you were to ask 10 different teachers, you'd get 10 different answers. A national survey of high school teachers has told you that some of the top resources that are required for schools are going to be wireless internet, personal computers, interactive whiteboards, student participation systems. That's kind of like your clickers, or if you're more familiar with the Plickers system. Those are some of the top things that are going to be quite common, but the rest of the answers vary widely depending upon the skill level of the teacher, how familiar they are with technology, and how creative they can be on how to intertwine that within their curriculum. So what are some of the categories for key technologies? Well, there are 7 primary categories. They include internet technologies, informational management technologies, problem solving, inquiry-based, social media, multimedia, differentiating learning techniques, and assessment technologies. So first and foremost, we've got to learn how to use these technologies. You're going to need to set aside the time to become more familiar with the technology features as well as how you're going to use these new tools. You have to find new and creative ways to add these technologies from each of the 7 categories into your teaching approach. You need to find and create small technology groups within your classroom and focus on learning for students and for yourself. Teachers, we must be constant learners of technology because every day it's going to change in advance, and it's up to us to keep track to help our students benefit and grow. TPAC. Now, this was a new one for me, but it's actually short for Technology Pedagogical Content Knowledge, which is more of the combination of the content knowledge, pedagogical knowledge, which is your teaching practices, and your technical knowledge. All right, so now you kind of know a little bit about technology, and you know you want to incorporate it in your classroom, but where do you really begin? Well, the first step for any really new teacher to get out there is to build your digital identity. This is kind of like getting your passport for international travel. This refers to the technology, talents, and competencies. That's a statement of your personal commitment to innovation, just as the front of the classroom personality. You need to build your multimedia resume, your learning resources and technology tools, and learn and start to model these technologies for your students. So I know you're probably sitting there listening to me go on, and you're probably sounding like some of your very own students because the thing that's in the front of your mind is why. Why is this important? Why should we be incorporating these technologies into our classroom? Well, 21st century technologies, when used properly, will actually teach children 21st century skills. We've got to be able to take it to that next level. You cannot just teach the basics anymore. It's just not going to cut it with today's children. New generation of children have been growing up in a different environment than we did. They've been growing up with this technology from the very beginning. They're more advanced. This is how they think. It's how they interact. It's how they learn. We've got to be able to step it up and be able to still do our jobs as teachers and connect. Kids these days. Young children today are experiencing a digital childhood. By 2010, over 50% of all kids under the age of 5 were using some sort of electronic learning toy and watching close to 4 hours of television a day. Furthermore, 70% of all second graders play video games and then use the internet on a daily basis. I know my daughter can actually sit on her laptop, watching TV, texting her friends, playing a game with music going, and I can barely, walk and chew gum at the same time. But kids today have interacted. They're used to technology. We've got to be able to find a way to relate that to them. iPods, iPads, heck, the iGeneration. And what is it? Well, really, it consists of kids between the ages of 8 and 18. They've never known a world without cell phones, text messaging, social media. Most of these kids have Facebook accounts, Twitter accounts, their own wikis, blogs. There's really not a pronounced gender gap between it. Boys and girls throughout the ages equally use technology in these social sites, and hence the term the iGeneration. The great technology divide. Use of technology varies from students based on their economic situation. Students in lower incomes use internet less than the higher incomes based on availability. However, with a lot of the TVs that are out there, our flat screens have USB ports, there's still ways, even without a actual steady, dedicated internet line at home, we can still find ways to incorporate this technology into our students' learning. You have about 15 minutes. That's it. The role of the teacher has changed, and the students' attention spans are constantly shrinking. With this, we've kind of transformed from that role of being the guardians of all knowledge, where things used to be difficult and hard to find, and students relied solely upon their teachers for the information that they needed to move forward in the curriculum. Now they can Google it, search it, get on Facebook, hit up their friends, and find out. So we've got to find ways to adapt to this short attention span and this constant need for knowledge and quick reinforcement. We kind of know what it is and why it is, but how do we use it? There's really 3 key ways that we as teachers can use technology within our classrooms. We can use it inside the classroom as instructional tools or outside as far as our professional resources, kind of like what we're doing here through this class, and both inside and outside the classroom as learning resources. So a technology-based library. It's one of the first things you need to build as a teacher before you really can start incorporating this into the classroom. We no longer have to go spend countless hours and scrolling through numerous books and having stacks of paper lesson plans. We can quickly use social bookmarking sites to actually link us to the sites where we want to go ahead and save a vast amount of information. We also have technology-based textbooks. We're no longer bound to a single text or prepackaged lessons that the school provides. Each teacher can produce a classroom technology based on a net text or an online textbook, or use a combination of sites, therefore. We can share materials with our students through the websites, eliminating the need to photocopy and drive up the school's budget in regards to our reproduction costs. Next, we really need to build our online office. Within our office, we used to, kind of be tied to our desks. We couldn't really go home. We had to grade the papers. You had to carry stacks upon stacks. Well, now, that's kind of a thing of the past. Technology allows us to organize and manage our professional work electronically. Our duties can be performed multiple tasks through technology, from our grade books to our tests to our lessons that are out there, worksheets. Online interactive activities are amazing, reducing the amount of paper grading that needs to. With our laptops and tablets and smartphone that we carry around, we no longer are tied to the office. We can be doing it on the go or waiting for dry cleaning. We also needed to look at developing a technology-based learning environment. In the past, teaching occurred just during the classroom times. You know, you had the homework, but once that kid left, you know, you were out of touch. Now we can interact with our students at home through our wikis and our blogs, websites, Skype, email, recorded classrooms, or demonstrations such as this that will allow us to really reach out and help that student during the not so typical classroom hours. Differentiation of instruction. You hear it every day. Principal, such principal administration is always talking about it. Everyone learns differently. Everyone's at a different level. Everyone has different resources and experiences. And our teaching style must be able to adapt. And it's hard to get one-on-one and really differentiate with each and every student. However, by being able to record and present lessons and flipping your classroom, technology is going to allow us the opportunity to reach those students at their own level. Those students that have a hard time reading or comprehending will be able to use the fast forward features, rewind and replay, so they can really understand the content that you're trying to teach, which is really all those students to learn and just give them the extra motivation they need to catch up and stay caught up with the class. So finally, some questions for the teachers. You know, what can we really do as teachers and students with technology that we can't do without it? And take a minute to think about it. It's really kind of hard to think that, you know, what can we do? What can be done without technology? Teachers, remember that you don't have to try to use technology for every situation. It's not going to work. I mean, you can spend days and nights trying to build classes and videos when really sometimes just that one-on-one teacher-centered learning can really suit the need and having those in-class discussions. But really look at trying to incorporate them. Maybe try to find one thing a week that you can use technology to really enhance your classroom lessons. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. It's been a good experience for me. I hope you tune in next time where we look at some new and exciting ways to continue to incorporate technology into your classroom. Well, please email me with any questions or comments in regards to this lesson. Thank you. Have a good day.